What is going on, guys? Welcome back to the Chicago Cubs franchise here in MLB The Show 22. In this episode, before we get into opening day action against Tyler Mahle and those Cincinnati Reds on the road at Great American Ballpark, opening day. Before we get into that action, we're going to go into the roster here really quick and just give you a brief, tiny little mini overview of my thoughts, my analysis, my vision for this team, so you guys kind of have an idea of what we're going to do with this Cubs franchise. Now, I don't have Greg with me, Greg Huss. You guys saw the introduction video yesterday. He's going to be involved on Thursday's upload, so that'll be episode 3. So we'll talk about some minor leaguers, guys that he likes, guys that we should probably keep our eye on in our system. And he might even have a suggestion for us to call up a player from the minor leagues in that episode. So make sure you guys are tuning in to that upload on Thursday, because that's going to be a big one. But let's get it right into it. Let's talk about the starting pitchers here. I'm looking at Marcus Stroman and Kyle Hendricks as guys that I like, but being above 30, it signals to me as the GM here that we got to get this thing going quickly. If we want Stroman and Hendricks to be a part of this rebuild and be a part of a contending team, they don't have a lot of years left. And we look at Marcus Stroman at 30 years old. You know, if we get this done in 3 years, I would say it's a successful sign. If it takes us 5 seasons, 6 seasons to get into playoff contention, which I don't think that it should. We've got a lot of young, good pieces in the minor leagues. But, you know, pitchers, they start getting a little more injury prone when they start getting above 30, right? So obviously Max Scherzer, Clayton Kershaw, those guys are, and Justin Verlander, those guys are beasts. But for the most part, pitchers like Stroman could have problems down the road. And I'm a little worried about that. Anytime you talk about pitchers getting upwards of 30, 35, maybe even 33, it starts to be kind of a downhill slope. So basically with Stroman and Hendricks, my want here is that I want to keep him around, but we got to really feel where we're at with the franchise. If we're not ready to compete, if we're not even close to being able to be competitive in the NL Central, then we might have to trade these guys away. I hate saying that. I don't want to trade Stroman, but it could be a possibility. I'd like to keep him around to like 33, 34. Kyle Hendricks. What to say about Kyle Hendricks? He's been one of the most underrated pitchers across the game. The solid ERA. Not going to be a strikeout guy. Standing 6'3", 7-year pro. He's a soft tosser. You know, he's just a control, movement, break type of guy. I like Kyle Hendricks, but again, at 32 years old, it might be, by the time we're ready, he might not even be here. It's currently hurt in real life. I'm going to start the franchise series with him on the big league club. You could make the argument that if we wanted this true to life, I could move him down AAA, but at that point, if that's the tone you're setting, then I have to do everything the Cubs are doing in 2022 in real life, which means we're never going to get through multiple seasons of this franchise. That's just not going to happen. But Adbert Alzolay, Wade Miley's a solid addition here, but 35 again, he might be a trade piece at that point. Adbert Alzolay, 27 years old. He's been a prospect for a while in this Cubs franchise, this organization. We're just waiting for him to get it going, really. 4.58, 2.95, only started 4 games, went 1-1 in 2020. You know, obviously 2020 was kind of a crappy year. 2019 got the call up in the summer, but got a little bit lit up there. So we're just kind of waiting. As Cubs fans, we're just kind of waiting on what Alzolay is going to turn into. I hope he turns into something. I hope he takes the next step here. But for now, he's in AAA for us, and we'll see how that goes for him, and then we'll call him up when he's ready. I think that's really what we're talking about here. Braylon Marquez. Now, keep in mind, Braylon Marquez and Seiya Suzuki are not available on the base MLB The Show roster until they get the rosters updated, of course. Until Seiya Suzuki has an official at-bat, I think, at the major league level. I'd have to freshen up on the rules of MLBPA and getting into the video game, but for some reason, I didn't look this up, but for some reason, Braylon Marquez isn't in the MLBPA right now. Anyway, they're not available for you in the base roster, so you do have to go to the roster vault in order to download them. Creation by Dr. Sublime. So if you guys don't know who he is, he actually makes created players based on obviously real players, and it makes their own image and likeness. Just wanted to talk real quick again about my excitement about Braylon Marquez, a lefty that can get up to 99 miles an hour. I don't know if that's real or not. I'd have to ask Greg. Greg, where are you? No, but I'm excited. I'm excited for Justin Steele, Marquez, Alzolay. I think there's some good young pitching here for the Cubbies, but they're kind of old. I'm not gonna lie to you. I want some guys that are like, give me the juice, you know? Give me that 24-year-old. Give me that 23-year-old that's ready to just come in and dominate, right? But I think we as a community here on this channel, and me as a GM, I think we can do a little bit better. I think we can focus on pitching and even relief pitching at that measure to really expedite the rebuild. Because I feel like this team needs youth, needs pitching, needs some electricity there, instead of guys that just kind of, you know, are like Alec Mills, Wade Miley, and, you know, Stephen Brown. So, yeah, if you're hitting 91, 84, 90, we need some juice. So, okay, so for catching, we got Wilson Contreras and Yan Gomes. Now, I know what Yan Gomes can do. He can hit lefties really, really well. He plays pretty darn good defensively, but he's 34. So again, if he has a good season, it could be a trade piece. Really, that's what I'm looking at from Yan Gomes. Now, Wilson Contreras is a hot topic because he's kind of a guy that's a holdover from the Chicago Cubs of old. Obviously, Jason Hayward's a big part of that, but really no one else is here other than like Ian Happ, I think. Yeah, so Ian Happ he came after the World Series victory. Let's see. David Bodie, when did he come up? 2018. So really no one is left other than Wilson Contreras. And he's kind of the guy that's been a mainstay for this team. And he's the heart and soul of this team right now. You could throw in Kyle Hendricks, of course. He was on the team for 2 years. Then 2016 went 16-8. What a year he had. But I don't see myself getting rid of Wilson Contreras. Now, if he's like 32, again, it's one of those situations where if we haven't done anything with Stroman, Hendricks, and Contreras, I'm thinking we might have to deal him. I think that's probably going to be the best route. But Yan Gomes is a backup. Seems like just another dude that we could probably trade and pass up. Frank Schwindel, 29 years old, 78. I don't see Frank Schwindel in the plans either. You know, to be quite honest with you, I know that Chicago Cubs fans, the Midwest feel, I hear you, I understand you. I'm from Michigan, I get it, I'm right there with you. We get attached to our players, and sometimes it hurts when you move on from them. But, you know, when you've got a first baseman at 29 years old and, you know, we could only get maybe four seasons out of Frank Schwindel. Again, we'll see how this rebuild goes. But he's on my list of players that we could possibly trade or move on from. David Bodie also could be on my list as well. 28, 73B, depends on how fast he progresses. But really, you know, I would keep him around for positional depth. First, third, short. Can play the corner infields, corner outfields. Can play a little bit of short. But, you know, I'm not going to primarily stick him at shortstop. Maybe only in a dire situation would I ever do that. Just look at the fielding numbers there. But you got Nick Madrigal here at 25. He was a first-round pick a couple years ago. 340 in limited sample size here, 103 at-bats, 200 at-bats for the White Sox last season at 305. 10 doubles, double digits in doubles. So I'm kind of excited for Nick Madrigal. I think he doesn't get a lot of love like he should. We'll see how he does this season at the big leagues in real life, but I'm actually kind of excited for him. Now, Patrick Wisdom, 30 years old. He's a guy that was a former St. Louis Cardinal. Then he went over to Texas. He's basically the right-handed version of Joey Gallo. He strikes out a lot. He is going to hit a lot of home runs, ton of power, vision and contact, in the dumps, but he's a really good fielder. So he kind of forces your hand to start. You gotta be the third baseman. If you can field your position and hit a bunch of home runs, I don't care how much you strike out. So again, with Patrick Wisdom, we might be able to do better. At 30 years old, that B potential probably not going to be bumping up that overall rating enough to kind of keep you around. But again, it's just kind of a wait and see type of situation. Jonathan VR, I don't really know what to do with VR. He's 30 years old, 74C. Andrelton Simmons, 32. Nico Horner's the future. Simmons is just a guy to back up at this point. Really good defender, but so is Nico Horner. So I like the 1-2 punch there. Now, Ian Happ and Clint Frazier. This is tough because Frazier's a C potential at 27 years old. And with those contact numbers and those power numbers, the power numbers are good, but the contact is a little concerning. So if there was a guy that we would use those challenge points on, it would be Clint Frazier for me. I would use those challenge points on Clint Frazier to up that potential because I think that he really needs that in order to grow. But Ian Happ, 82 power, 52 power against lefties, decent fielder. You know, at 27, I think he could probably be a part of the long-term plans. I'm not really looking to trade him, but if the right deal came along, maybe I would. But that A potential is kind of worth hanging on to, especially at that age at 27. I think we'll do that. Now, I did move up Brennan Davis's statistics just a little bit in contact and power. A little more contact than power, but I did upgrade him. He was a 60 overall. Still an A potential. He was always that. But he's at the AAA level to start. Pete Crow Armstrong is actually going to go to AA, and we'll fix the rosters a little bit later. But I felt like with the way that Brendan Davis has become on the radar for a lot of people analyzing the Cubs minor league system, he doesn't need to be a 60. He doesn't need to be below Pete Crow Armstrong. I can't see that happening. But Rafael Ortega, D, I would probably end up trying to trade Ortega. I just don't see the benefit of keeping him around when you've got these young guys in center field, especially Jason Hayward. We're probably going to be putting him on the block to be traded because if you look at the salary, $23 million, and we're on the hook for him for this year and next year. Now I know that he's a valued guy in this organization. He was a part of the Cubs team in 2016. It was his first year here and was a big part of that. A big part of that team to give the speech right during the rain delay to help them push to get that World Series and be crowned champions. But that time has passed. And we got to find somebody that's going to be willing to take on that contract because I know I'm not for that. Now, Seiya Suzuki, 2779B, again, kind of like in the same situation as Ian Happ. I don't see myself trading Seiya. I think he's just too good to even deal with that. So I'm keeping him around. I want him to be here for the rest of the franchise series. And that's really kind of my analysis here, my quick analysis. Another guy I'm really excited about is Pinango at a D potential. I think that needs to be upgraded. I think they kind of did him dirty a little bit. But that would be another guy that I would really think about upping his potential with those challenge points. Ed Howard as well. Maybe if we can try to get him to a B, that would be perfect. James Triantos, 1973. This is what I'm talking about, a guy with some juice. 1973 and C. That's what I like to see, man. Now, for those of you guys that know what this is a wheel spin for an in-game challenge. And now every single game and gameplay that we have in this series that's going to be giving us a challenge, I've written some things down like a Stroman W, 0 errors, no home runs given up. It's going to be hard. It's his legend difficulty at Great American Ballpark. If it's no homers given up, that's going to be hard. But it is going to be no home runs given up. I did change Joey Votto to be held off base, which is a very difficult task in of itself. So we'll see what happens in this game. We've got our lineup here posted. Ortega's going to lead it off. Schwindel batting second. And you guys saw the rest of the lineup there. Wilson Contreras batting third. And we'll get a deeper look at what our lineup looks like here as the gameplay progresses. But should be a pretty tough matchup. Tyler Mahle is no slouch. 210 strikeouts, 64 walks. Always knew that Tyler Mahle had this type of potential in him, just waiting for him to bust out, and it looked like he did that last season. So here is Ortega with a deep drive out to right field. That's going to be caught by Tyler Naquin, Kansas City Royals legend in the last MLB The Show series that we had running for 21. If you guys haven't checked that out, I highly suggest it to you. But there's a quick snapshot look at the rest of the Cubs lineup there, 4 through 9, as we talked about the first top 3 hitters, as we see Frank Schwindel getting a long drive again to Tyler Naquin, but he's going to make that catch, being the good defender that he is, and Nick Senzel camps underneath this one. Contreras had a nice curveball to hit, but just missed it right off the PCI. Couldn't take care of it, and that's going to do it for the Cubbies. Up 1, 2, 3. Let's go to the bottom of the first inning as we've got Tommy Pham. This is a new Cincinnati Red acquired through free agency from the San Diego Padres, so he was let go. Didn't want to sign him back, and now he's out here with Cincinnati. Might be a good little leadoff hitter for him. We'll see how that pans out in real life. But we got Donovan Solano DHing today right in front of Joey Votto, which is a guy that we have to keep off base. But as you know, that's not our challenge. We have to not give up a single home run. Very hard to do in this day and age of baseball, and now I'm lucky that we didn't get that challenge, keeping Joey Votto off base. He's now 1 for 1 in the early going of this game. So Stroman left a sinker right down the middle, just broke right into his wheelhouse. And luckily for us, Mike Moustakas, next batter up, the number 4 hitter, grounds out to Nick Madrigal. So 4 up, 3 down. Votto with the base knock. Ian Happ comes up against Tyler Mahle. He's going to swing and a miss. That's Mahle's first strikeout of the game. Seiya Suzuki, first major league at bat and first major league hit. And first hit for the Cubs in the season. I like the pairing there. Love that. First major league hit for Suzuki, and it was a little floater, but he'll take it nonetheless. Left fielder, I believe that was Tommy Pham, just could not get in there fast enough, and he let it drop right in front of him. Frank Schwindel picks it up. He's going to keepsake it for Suzuki, but Hayward promptly, on the very next pitch, literally the next pitch, grounds out into a double play. Let's jump all the way to the bottom of the 4th inning as we have a 1-1 pitch here to Donovan Solano, and he's going to get a base knock here. And that is going to lead up to the next batter here, Joey Votto. But as the one first baseman comes up to bat, we are losing our first baseman. Frank Schwindel going to go out with a little bit of an injury, and the only guy that can play first base on this group, I believe Yan Gomes can play a little first base, but I want to get David Bodie in here, get a little playing time. He will be our first baseman for the rest of the game. So bottom 4, nobody down. Joey Votto coming up and gets that same sinker pitch, but this time Stroman executes, and we get the double play ball. That's a good way to roll it up, baby. Twist it, turn it. Sound like bop it out here, but damn, I think I might throw that in here in the audio at some point. Mike Moustakas comes up, and with bases cleared, we got lucky, I think. We got lucky. Mike Moustakas was giving us a run for our money in that in-game challenge. No home runs given up quite yet. And Tyler Mahle, if they had the same challenge, it's still 0-0. So they are doing their part to make sure they're getting their challenge done too. 4-seam fastball is going to blow right by Seiya, and that was just not a good pitch to swing at, but he did so anyway. Jonathan India getting a nice off-balance throw. Going to find Votto there, and it's another 3 up, 3 down here for the Cubs. Top 6 and continuing to dominate this Cubs lineup. Mahle's got 6 strikeouts now. Nico Horner, little fly ball, little pop-up. And Moustakas with the athletic play. The big man, Moose, somehow got up there, made the catch. Here's a little base knock right here for Nick Madrigal, right up the middle. Just look at the PCI placement there. Just a little bit off, but that plate vision for Madrigal gets it done. 0-2 count here for Rafael Ortega. We're up at the top of the order again, and we just can't lay off the fastball. It's too juicy, and Mahle walks it off. Senzel due up next. 9-1-2 coming up here in the bottom of the 6th inning. Stroman in line for a quality start if he can, of course, finish the job and get through 6 without giving up 3 runs. I like his chances so far with 2 down now if Madrigal makes this play, and he does. So Tommy Pham grounds out. We had Senzel grounding out. And the next batter up, Donovan Solano, he also grounds out. Madrigal makes the play twice. 3 ground balls on the right side of the infield. Bodie made the play, and Madrigal made 2. Now, next batter up, we need some help. We need some offense. David Bodie. Deep drive to left, and that one is a no-doubt home run. 410 feet, 105 right off the bat, and even a cool 105. And Tyler Mahle can't believe it. He's been pitching great. He has been pitching great. 6+ strikeouts so far in this game, and David Bodie just got a pitch that he could hit. We were guessing over here on Legend difficulty. It's almost like with that pitch speed coming in as fast as it does, you have to almost guess where it's going to be. You can't react. It's not fast enough. So we guessed a high and outside. We got it. And now, after 1 out later, Nick Senzel all the way to the wall. That one's over the fence. And Ian Happ hits a solo home run for himself. Tyler Mahle, 2 solo home runs given up in this inning. And now the Cubbies have a 2-0 lead. And David Ross, of course, loves that. He loves that. So if we can't move runners along, if we can't move station to station, we're just going to go deep 1 through 9. So 2-0 here, bottom 7, 2-2 pitch. And look at this base knock here by Tyler Naquin. Hayward cuts it off nicely. That may have been a triple if Hayward doesn't cut that ball off. But instead, Naquin's going to roll in there with a double. Now 2 down. We've got Jonathan India coming up, and he oh! What a play by Stroman. I thought that was going to get up the middle and through, but Stroman turns his back and magicians this. Take one more look at this again. My goodness, Stroman just sticks his glove out behind his back, makes an easy throw to first base. Gold Glove caliber pitcher right here. Just makes it look smooth, makes it look easy. Art Warren, 26 games last season and had a sub-1 whip. This guy's got a pretty electric fastball. Can get up to 96 on it. As you see here, Nico Horner can't handle it. It was a strike. You got to swing. 2 strikeouts here. He's going to strike out the side. That's a really great job here by Art Warren to put up 3 up and 3 down to get us off the board. No insurance runs for the Cubbies. Now with only 65 pitches, we're in the 8th inning. Stroman is still going strong. He strikes out Stevenson on a nasty slider. 1-0 pitch here to Kyle Farmer. That is going to be a line drive here to Ian Happ in left field, but he makes the play. 68 pitches. Now we're going to jump ahead to full count here against Nick Senzel, the number 9 hitter. He's upwards to 75. And I'm getting a little worried here because we're at the top of the order with Tommy Pham. He can be a little bit of a pest. He's a pesky little hitter. But we're going to get Cody Hoyer and Wick warmed up. And we got to get this guy out. So Tommy Pham swings and a miss. That's a nice sinker pitch right there. So it's an 0-2 count here. Slider, we're going to call on it here. Let's see if Pham offers. He does not. How do you take that pitch? But Stroman can't believe it. We're going to go again with the slider pitch. And he gets the call. 3rd strike on Tommy Pham. Can't believe it. He didn't think that was a strike at all. But we get out of the 8th inning. Oof. Next in the 9th will be the number 2 hitter and the number 3 hitter. You guys know what that's all about. That's Votto and Moustakas at 3-4. So we've got to get our guys warmed up here. We've got Robertson and Michael Givens warming up, 2 potential closers, 2 former closers. We need that versatility back there. So David Bodie, top 9 against Art Warren. Hit that home run earlier. Let's see if he can get another one here for insurance. We need it. Look at that curveball. That's a nasty, nasty looking curveball, man. That's gonna be, if he lays one in there, I think we can do some damage. So I'm thinking maybe outside and low a little bit. That's where we're going. Curveball. We got the pitch. We were looking for it, and David Bodie says, "See you later." Number 2 of the day. 387. This one was a line drive. 387 feet. Much shorter than his first bomb of the game. But take a look at this. Majestic shot. 101.6 on the exit velo. We get the insurance run we needed. Let's go bottom 9. And this one's going to fall in. Hayward can't make the catch. And that's going to be a base knock here for Donovan Solano, which means it's disaster scenario right now. Stroman, if you give up a home run, we lose the challenge, and we may lose the game. It'd be 3-2 at that point with Moustakas coming up. So we can't lose the game here by giving up a home run to Votto, but it sets us back a little bit. So let's watch this pitch for pitch and see what Stroman can do here. He's already got him down 0-2. Continues to rely on that sinker. He's upwards of 84 pitches now. Slider inside, and Votto offers at it, and he pops it up. It's curving foul. Let's see if it stays fair. It would have been foul had Madrigal not had enough speed to get there, but that's a nice catch. And now it's Mike Moustakas time. And we call a mound visit here. 67 strikes, 18 balls for Stroman. He has been very, very efficient here. And Mike Moustakas, having as much power as he does, especially against righties, we got to be careful with the Moose. 0-1 pitch. That's a really nice slider on the outside part of the plate. We're going to go with another sinker pitch here. We timed that perfectly. You got to be on your A game against a guy like Moose, especially on legend difficulty. So we got him down 0-2, and we called that slider pitch again. That was a good call by Contreras back there. We're going to go with it one more time. We're going to trust our veteran catcher, and he lifts a fly ball to Hayward. That's going to be out number 2. We are 1 out away from a complete game from the newly acquired Marcus Stroman on opening day. On the road, no less. That's a tough, tough task. Tyler Naquin coming up. He lifts a fly ball all the way out to Ian Happ. It's carrying a little bit, but that's going to be enough for him to make the catch at the warning track, and Marcus Stroman throws a complete game on opening day. And the Cubs, despite a little bit of adversity, they get the W. They lose Frank Schwindel for a couple of days. David Bodie was obviously the MVP today. Well, not obviously, I guess. We got 2 MVPs. Marcus Stroman goes 9 innings and a complete game win and a shutout, no less. But David Bodie comes up and supplies the offense where it was lacking a little bit in other areas. So David Bodie, 2 home runs. Stroman, couple strikeouts in the game. Didn't have his good stuff, I would say, but good enough stuff. Got the ball in play, had a couple double plays as well. We got the job done. Frank Schwindel is going to be out for just a couple days. It's not a serious injury, so we're going to keep him on the bench, just keep him active. I'm not going to really use another roster spot. No, there's no reason to use someone's option in order to waste that, because he's going to be back in a couple days. But we do lose game number 2 of the series, and then ultimately lose game 3, which means we lost the series against the Cincinnati Reds. They beat us 7-6 in 15 innings. Look at the number of at-bats here. I mean, this is just driving down our batting averages. But unfortunately, we had to use a lot of pitchers in this game, which that kind of hurts, especially in April. You don't want guys to be used so often. Like Hoyer went 2 innings, Chavez went 3, and ultimately maybe that's why we lost game 3 of the series. That's gonna do some harm for the rest of April. I can guarantee it. Guys' arms in spring training, that's what you want them to do, is work on that, get them loose and everything, but get their innings going. But yeah, the more type of games that you have in April that are long and you get into extra innings like that, that's gonna hurt you for the rest of April and maybe start bleeding into May. But we make our changes, we make our little updates here. Should be good for the rest of the month until it decides that it's gonna mess with us again. But guys, I wanted to update you here on the scouting portion of this series. Now up on the screen you will see some of the players that are able to be drafted this year. As you know, all of the prospects that we are actually going to be scouting will be in the Bradley Braves series over on Twitch. I'm going to be carrying over players, even CPU generated players, over into this series. So these guys that you see here up on your screen, they may or may not remain in this universe. So they could be taken over. We'll do some renamings with custom prospects and CPU generated guys. So that's how that's going to work. So guys, that's it for this episode. Leave a like if you like this thing. I will see you on Tuesday for opening day in Wrigley Field against the St. Louis Cardinals. Guys, we'll see you in the next one. As always, thank you so much for watching, and